Okay, so let's begin. So we today we're going to be beginning our topic of CSS, and we'll have a sample exam today, so we can schedule the exam probably for next week on Wednesday. We don't meet on Monday next week. That's why. Uh, I'm not sure, but I'm sure you guys are not complaining. Okay, so let's go over the topic then, the CSS topic. So that would be topic 4. Actually, I think I updated the wrong course. Sorry about that. Yeah, give me a second. Yeah, I think I put the course on a different course by mistake. Hold on. Let's see where I put it. Just give me 5 minutes. Okay, I didn't. Okay, I didn't refresh. That's why. Okay, thank you. Okay, yeah, so I did put it. Okay, so we're doing topic 4. That will be the new topic. Topic 4. Okay, so let's begin to this our second topic, major topic, CSS, before we do JavaScript. So let's begin CSS. I guess let me. Okay, so CSS is basically the official method of designing your web pages. So this is what you're supposed to use. You of course also work on the layout. So basically, you do both design and layout. But you can do some layout in HTML, but you also do that as well in CSS, and of course design. That would be the colors and so forth, and the special effects. So here we're gonna discuss the syntax. We are more or less discussing the syntax of declaring CSS in 3 methods. So we basically will be learning about declaring CSS as inline method, the embedded method, and the external method of declaring CSS. So the inline method is the one we've been doing in class, as well as the embedded. So we've been doing this method of declaring CSS when we do tables. But basically, inline CSS, you declare the properties inside the element tag, and this would be the style attribute. So whenever you use the style attribute, you are writing inline CSS. So you have the property and the value with a colon instead of the equal, and you separate different properties by the use of the semicolon. So here's an example of changing 3 properties. We're changing the border, the background, and the color. We're using the style attribute. So whenever, once again, you use style attribute, you are using inline CSS. So there's a complete example. Inline CSS, so you're changing the background to yellow. Embedded CSS, will no longer use the style attribute. We will actually use the element. So we're going to be now using the style element. So notice that we have now the style element. So that basically makes it embedded whenever you use the style element. So inline uses the style attribute and the embedded uses the style element. So the format is a bit different in terms of choosing what's going to change. So this is the selector is what you want to change with the CSS. Once again, the selector is the element that you want to modify with the CSS you specify in the curly braces. So you basically are not using double quotes, you're using the curly brace. So that will be the braces, the braces. So here is a complete example. You're changing the border, background, and color. Notice that the content itself uses the same notation. We have the property semicolon, next property semicolon, next property. So we still have that format, but the selector is the p element. So we're saying that all the p elements are going to be modified with the following properties. So this will take effect on all p elements, not just one. And lastly would be the external CSS. So the external CSS uses the same syntax, but you're going to be allocating the CSS on a separate file. So that would be external CSS. So here is basically two files. So notice that we specify the location of the external file by using the link element. So once again, we're specifying the location of the file by using the link element. By the way, you can also use the link element to specify, to link to another web page. So we've been using the anchor element, but the link element, we can use the to property to direct it to a different location as well. So this link element is used to specify the location of the external CSS file. But once again, this is also used to specify a web link like we did with the anchor element. But instead of using this, the href, the source, we would use the to dot to specify the new location of the link. So basically, this is external CSS, and notice the file here. So this syntax is the same as embedded. So it's exactly the same as the embedded CSS. Okay, so we're just going to do one or two exercises. We won't be finishing the exercise, so we can do the practice exam. Okay, so I believe this is it for the presentation. So we can go ahead and we're gonna have a little bit of fun, I guess, because it's I'm not very good in CSS, but so we're talking basically about design. So we're going to be in the intro. We're gonna be doing exercise 4, and we're gonna be designing these tables. So we are still gonna be using tables for layout. In fact, after the test, we will be using CSS with no tables. In fact, the next CSS lesson will be CSS with no tables. So, but right now we're using tables. So we're going to be doing this exercise. So I'm going to create the new folder. I guess I'm gonna create it here. So that's gonna be CIS385 exercise 4. And I'm gonna be opening it with Visual Studio Code. So let me open the new folder. Okay, so I'm going to be creating the first file, exercise 41.html. Let's see how many prompts we have. We have five. We're probably only going to do two, and then we'll do the practice. So let me move this to the right, this to the left. Okay, so I am going to create the HTML template, so that tag type. We have the header and the title, exercise 41. And then the actual content of the web page, that would be on the body. So today we're only going to be doing the first two. They're not forms. This is an actual form. These two are just tables. They don't have graphical elements. So we are not dealing with forms here. But in the next, I guess, in 2 weeks, because next week we'll probably just be meeting on Wednesday for the exam. So we'll be doing number 3, 4, and 5. Number 3 is a form because we have the text boxes and the buttons and so on. But 1 and 2 are not using I mean, they're not using any graphical elements, so we're not using forms yet. Okay, so let's begin the first problem. So we basically gonna create a table, a 2 by I guess it's a 2 rows and 2 columns. So this is a table. So we basically have a table with 2 columns and 2 rows. We're gonna merge the first row. It's still once again a 2 by 2 table. Okay, so let's just write the table. So table. Once again, this is a 2 row, 2 column table. So let me create the first row. In the first row, you're going to declare 2 columns. Let me put the address of the cell. So this would be row 1, column 1. The next cell is row 1, column 2. And to create the second row, just copy the first one. So just copy it and paste it below it. And just change the cell address to R2. The column enumeration remains the same. The first row is a merge field, so we have to delete one column because we're going to span the first one for two columns. So basically, this is how you would merge. In this case, all the columns in row one. So we are basically only using the first column and spanning it for two columns. So the property that I'm using once again is column span. So this is all the modifications we do on the table. That's it. So now we can start on basically entering the content. So what is the content of this cell? The content is actually two problems. And because it's centered and in center, we can use the TD, rather the TH element. The TH element, once again, automatically centers the content, so it's a good way of us to center it without having to use CSS, and it's legal. It's not like the center element that you're not supposed to use. This is a legal method. The content of the first cell in the second row, it's a problem one. And the content of the second cell in the second row, it's a problem two. The table here, the CSS, we have a border, so the table has a border. And in fact, all the columns are bordered. All the columns are bordered. This one is, of course, the background is black. It basically has a border, black border, black. So they all have the same border. They all have I'm gonna use 5x, 5px. So all the TTs and the THs are gonna have the same border. And let's see what that border is. So the border that I'm going to use for the table is as follows: style equals. So the border that we're going to use is a solid line. The thickness is going to be 5 pixels. And the color in this case is a black color. This is actually the keyword for black, but you can actually use the I guess it would be 0. That would be in hexadecimal. So there are different formats for specifying the black color. So you can use when you use the pound, it's in hexadecimal. I'm not sure if you did that in CSC 101, the hexadecimal notation. But anyway, we'll just use the keywords. Keywords. So it's easier to remember. So this is the border that you can basically use on all the, I guess, on all the TDs. So this is the border that I'm, since the TD here, problem one also has the same border. Problem two has the same border. I'm gonna put the border for the first TD. So I just copy the same border. Since I'm running out of real estate here, I'm gonna put the TDs on separate lines. So all I'm doing here is I just added the same style that I added on the table. I added it on the TDs. And I used separate lines for the columns because I was running out of space. So all the column cells as well as the table have a border which is 5 pixels in width or thickness. The title is a little bit different. The title basically has a background that's black and the color, the font color is white. So we're going to use that, those two properties. We're going to change them by adding the style attribute, and I'm going to change the background color to black. Background. You can say background or background color. They both would work. I'm just going to put bracket because it's shorter. So the background is black, and the font color, you just use the color to specify the font color. It's white. So I just added this to the title cell. That would be the TH cell. I just added that. And I believe that should be it. That should be it. So in CSS inline, this is the property that we want to change. In this case, we're changing the background. You specify here the value that you want to use for this property. So you want to change the background to black. If you want to specify another property, you just put the semicolon followed by the new property, in this case the font color, colon, and then you specify what you want to do with this property, you want to change it to black. So you're changing here two properties, the background and the font color. Let me see what it looks like. So let me run it. So you should get that table. So once again, after the exam, this exercise, we're going to be doing the exact same exercise, the exact same questions, but without tables. So, so it's going to be more interesting without tables. So we won't be using tables for the layout. We'll be using font width, and I guess uh, we're going to be using floating methods to make elements appear on the same line. It's very easy to do it here with columns, but if you don't use a table, you have to use a different method to make them appear on the same line, basically. But so it's more interesting than tables. Tables is much easier. Table is much easier. Okay, so did everybody get this table? So this is the table that should be getting that table. You should be getting that table there. Oh, sure. So let me make it smaller. Okay, so I'm gonna be moving to number two, and then we'll do the practice exam. So let's finish up number two. So let me close this one. If you didn't get to finish it, you can take a picture and. Okay, so I'm gonna close it. So the next one, so this would be now number two. Uh, it may not be evident, but it actually has 3 rows and 3 columns. So this one is a little bit longer because we have 3 rows. So we have the row number one, row number two, and row number three. And the columns would be column one. This one here will be column number two, and this one here will be column number three. The first row and the last row are merged. So that's what you get. So basically, these are the 3 columns here, but the first and last row. So we basically have a 3 by 3 table, 3 rows and 3 columns. So let's just create first the 3 rows and 3 columns. So it's a 3 by 3 table. So that would be number two. So let me, I guess, let me create number two from number one, so I can copy the template. So that would be file, save as. So I'm using it to create the second question. So I just created it from number one. change the title, and I'm just gonna get rid of the table altogether since it's different. So this is gonna be a different table, number two. So this is now number two. We're gonna create that round effect with this property, the border radius. So this is how we are going to create that rounding effect, the rounding effect, border radius. Okay, so let's create a 3 by 3 table. So we have the table first, and then we're gonna create one row with 3 columns. Column number one, column number two, and column number three. Okay, so this one is, let's see, is row one, column one. This one is row one, column two. And the last one is row one, column three. So there is the first row with 3 columns. And since we have 3 rows, just copy this one. Just copy it to create the other 2 rows. So that will be a total of 3 rows. And I'm just gonna change the addresses of the other cells. So row two, row three, and row two, row three. Okay, so let's see the table. Let's see what CSS we have. Okay, so basically, you're going to use the border attribute on all of them, including this one here. Uh, so that's about the CSS. Now, in terms of the layout, the first row is merged, and the last row is merged. So let's do that right now. So let's do the layout. Let's finish the layout. So the first row is a merge field. So the first row spans for not 2 but 3 columns because this is a 3 column table. So you have to get rid of two. You have to get rid of the last two columns, because this is the first row is a merge row, so it's a merge row. So get rid of the two columns and you specify the span value. The column span is going to be not two but three. So this is gonna span for three columns. You'll do the same to the last row. The last row is also a merge field. It's a merge. So I'm gonna get rid of the last two columns. So I'm gonna get rid of two columns. I have to get rid of the last two columns. And also do the column span. So the last column is going, the last column of the first column of the third row is gonna span for three columns. So the first and last row are merge fields. Okay, so now the content of the first row is actually empty. There is no content. The content of the first column in the second row is actually problem one here. Problem one here. I'm running out of space, so I'm gonna put the columns on separate lines. The second column in the second row is actually empty. So get rid of that R2, C2 is actually empty. I'm changing the second column. So this is the second column. So this is the second column. Sorry, not sorry. Second row. Second row. Second row. So the second row, first cell, its first column is problem one. The second row, second column is empty. And the third column of the second row has problem two here. So that's the contents of the second row. Okay, the last row it's just empty. So the last row, that the row number three, the column is empty. So you just remove the R3 context there, the context there of the cell address. Get rid of it because it's empty. So the first row and the last row are empty, completely empty. So now we're going to be adding I guess let's look at the table. So I guess it's basically 5 pixels as well. The first border is actually the table border, and this case is red. So we're going to put the border of the first, rather of the table completely as red. So adding the CSS here on the table, so it's on the table. I'm going to use also a thickness of 5 pixels. I'm changing the border property. So I'm gonna specify a solid line. The thickness is 5 pixels. And the color in this case is red. Since we're going to use the rounding effect, I'm going to specify a border on all of them. And it's going to be, so every other cell is going to have the same type of border, but instead of being red, it's going to be black. So I'm going to start with this one here. So I'm gonna just basically put style. The border is going to be solid. I'm running out of space. I guess let me put this on a separate line. Maybe I get a little bit more space. So border solid 5px black. So this one is black. So I guess let me move this here. So this is the style that I'm going to copy to all the TDs. So once again, except for the table, so all the TDs gonna have identical borders. So copy this to the this TD here, the problem one. It's gonna copy and paste. Same thing to the middle one. So I'm doing now the second row. I'm just gonna copy that. And you're gonna copy that to the last one. So that will be the second row. So basically, I'm just copying this style to all the TDs and also do that for the last row, so the third row. So the notice that this value, I'm using it on all other TDs as well. If you run it, it should look all square. So yeah, we're not done yet, but let's see what it looks like. Yeah, so everything is square. Oh, there is I did forget. What did I forget? The background. I did forget the background. The background on the first uh, here, talking about the first cell, is actually should be black, and the background Let's see. Hold on. Actually, the all yeah, they all have. I should have waited. Yeah, they all have the same background. So I have to add the black background. So they all have a black background. So that would be background, and the background it's black. The font color is white. Um, Even though this one doesn't need a font color because it's empty. What I'm trying to do is use the same CSS for all the others. So I'm gonna put a white. Because it's getting too big, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. So the first column, rather the first row, basically has the background now modified. So you can just copy that. Copy the font color and the background to all the others. So I'm copying it to these three cells in the second row. So I just added these two properties to the other CSS. That should make it that should make all the boxes black, as it's supposed to be. Let me save this. So let's see what it looks like. Yeah, that's better. So the only thing that remains to be done is to make it round, but otherwise they all have a black background. So once again, except for the table CSS, everything else has the identical CSS. Identical CSS. Now to make it round. So to make it round, we're going to use this new property, border radius. Border radius. Uh, we literally want it to be completely round. So that's going to be 100%. So what I'm going to be, let me put this on a separate line, style. Whenever you need to, I notice that I'm separating the contents of the opening tag. You can do that as well. So this is in its own line. It's a property of. Notice that I'm closing TD here. I'm closing it here. Okay, so I'm gonna add the last property, the border radius. It's gonna be border radius, and the value is 100% completely round. 100%. That property, border radius, you're going to add to all the other TDs, not the table, only the TDs. So I'm adding the border radius, making it 100%. Make sure you copy it with the semicolon at the beginning because you're gonna copy it to all the others. So I'm adding that to all the other TDs. So all the lines have the same CSS except for the table. And if you refresh, notice that you get the same thing. So if you like the changing of colors and the and whatnot, that's actually is a different field. That's actually web design. We're not web designers. We are web developers. Web developers only worry about the programming aspect, not the design. So when you apply for a job, make sure you understand that in here we do web development, not web design. So we're not doing web design. This is what you would do in web design. You would do the colors. Our real emphasis is actually JavaScript, so that would be the web development. So we're gonna be doing web developer, programming developer, so to speak, on the web. Okay, so I'm gonna see. So I will give you the last 5 points to you upload this as an extra credit. Both are 5 plus 5 because I already given too much extra credit. So both are +5. So both of them combined is +5. So let me put that in the in bright space. Let's see, and then we'll do the practice exam. Actually, no, never mind. This is CSS. So this is gonna be for the second exam. Yeah. So this is not. So each one is 5. Each one is 5. Yeah. Each one is 5. So let me add this. So this is for the second exam because this is CSS. This is CSS. So this would be exam 2 extra plus 10. That would be 10 points. I guess you can do it by midnight tonight. Okay, so you should see it now. Here, you should see it. If you refresh the assignment, you should see the plus. Okay, so let's take 5 minute break and we'll begin the practice exam. We'll begin the practice exam in 5 minutes. Oh, Okay, yeah, yeah. You just need to add the. Yeah, this one is red. Uh, this one, you need to add the background, the print overkids, and you need to add the border radius. And you will just copy this.
No, this is the first one.
Oh, sorry, let me undo it.
Yeah, this is the first one.
Okay, so uh, this one, this first one, that would be, yeah. Also, you're missing just the Yeah, just missing the prompts too. I'm not sure. Maybe it wasn't refreshed.
Yes.
Let's go to the page source. Let's see. Oh, this is not really. Sorry. This is. Let me look at the page. Oh, you it was on the web. That's,
So you have to do it from here.
no, yeah, here it is.
Oh,
Let's. Oh, you put the problem one outside of the TD. It's actually the problem goes here. So what I mean by that, it's all you have to do basically is get rid of this TD.
oh,
That's all. Um,
you can
yeah, that should be it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so let's do the practice exam. So let me close this. Okay, so you're gonna go to course exams at the bottom, course exams, and you're gonna click on exam one. Exam one. Okay, so we have this sample here, the course exam one, sample two. Let me download it. So this one's actually this is a lot easier than what you did last time. These are easier. Uh, so let's do this sample. They are both forms. They have graphical components. You have a text box. We have a button, and we have for the first table we have I should say form. We have the a button, and we have the drop-down menu overnight. So we do have three graphical elements: the button, a text box, and a menu, and a select statement. Okay, so let's begin this one. Okay, so how many rows? One, two, three, four, five. And how many columns? One, two, three, four. So we have 5 rows and 4 columns. 5 rows and 4 columns. So this is now the exam practice. So let me create a different folder. So that would be exam one, sample one, answers. Okay. So let me open that folder, Visual Studio Code. Okay, so let me move this to the left. Oh, let me create the file. So we're going to do the first one. So that's going to be exam one, sample one, number one, .html. Okay, so I'm gonna create the same template, the usual template. So this will be sample one, number one. Get rid of the tabs. Okay, so we have what? We have a four, 5 row, 4 columns. So a 5 by 4 column. I mean, rather table. So let's do that. I'll remind you this is a form. So the layout is a 4 by 5 table under a form. So you first declare the form, and inside it, you're gonna do the table. The table is for layout, and you're gonna create what the first row with 4 columns. Column 1, column 2, column 3, and column 4. Okay, let me put addresses, I guess. Okay, there is the 4 columns. So we are going to copy this and paste it 4 times. So we have a total of 5 rows. So that would, so you copy it you paste it 4 times. You already have the first one. 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5. So let me enumerate let me update the addresses. So remember, you first work on the layout, and then you'll update the contents. So we're working on the layout. Remember that this is not a CSS exam, so I'm declaring the CSS at the top, and I'll give you this for the exam. So you're not responsible for the style. So the TD, the TH, I guess the select statement, the guess the yeah the text boxes. I guess let me put all input elements are going to have a border. Actually, I usually put the input element as red, so let me put in a separate line. So the input element, I'm going to put it as red instead. And if you want to see borders on the checkboxes, you have to use the outline property. Okay. Once again, you're not responsible for this. I'll give you this. Okay, so let me start finishing the layout. I'm not done with the layout. So let's see. So once again, I'm not done with the layout. So the first row is merged. So we're going to basically get rid of all the columns but one. So the first row is a merge field. So once again, the first you work on the layout. Once again, don't just add the content yet. So this is the layout. So the layout for the first row is to merge all the columns here. So that will be column span equals to four columns. The second row, third row, uh, they have normal columns. So the second row and the third row have normal columns. So we don't change that. Uh, the the fourth row is merged. So the fourth row is merged. So that one we do change. So we are gonna change the. In fact, the last two rows have the same layout. So we're going to get rid of. Let's see. We're gonna get rid of two columns in the second and in the rather in the third and fourth. No, sorry. In the fourth and fifth rows, we're gonna get rid of the first two columns. So you can get rid of these third and fourth instead. I guess the second and third columns. So basically, I'm getting rid of two columns because this one is going to span how many rows? I mean, rather, how many columns? Three columns. Column span equals to three. So it's still an overall of four columns. So this is three columns. So three plus one is four. So remember, you have to have the same count. So we still have four columns. So here we still have four columns. Oh, I changed the wrong one. Sorry. Yeah, changed the wrong one. Yes, I meant. Yeah, it's the last two. It's the last two. Yeah, so it's this one is the one. Sorry about that. You can type Control Z to undo. Control Z to undo. And you do the same for the last row. You get rid of two columns. Okay, so that should be all the layout. In terms of the layout, I think that's it. Okay, the first row is equal to form one. So now I'm adding the content. So form one. And that's centered, so I'm going to use TH instead of TD because it's centered. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, so thanks. Yeah, so thank you. So yeah, sorry about that. Yes, column span. Okay, so now I'm gonna add the content to the second row. So the first column is name. In the second row, the second. So we're basically adding subtitles, quantity. Let's see, cost. And subtotal. So we're adding subtitles. Are they all centered? So I'm gonna change all the TDs in the second row to THs. So we can also use them for subtitles. Okay, third row, the first column is a label. Because I don't have enough space, I'm not gonna put the label element. I'm just going to put Sony HD TV. So high density TV. The second column is actually long. We have a text box and a button. So I'm gonna have to use separate lines for the columns. So column one, column two, column three, column four. So notice that I'm putting all the colors in separate lines because this is actually a long one. This one, the second column of the third row, yeah, it's actually long. So this one has a text box. So that would be the input element. Value equals to 2. So it actually has a value. So we have the text box there. I may not have enough space for the button, so I'm gonna have to put the second column in multiple lines. So I'm gonna be adding the button now. So that will still be an input element. Type is now button, and value is update. So that's the button. So this update here is a button. It's a button. The third column is equal to dollar sign 53, rather 59.39, 55.39 I should say. And the last row is 110 with 78 cents. So this is once again the third row that I'm doing. This is the third row. So this was the longest one, the third row. Actually, it's not taking attendance. So I think the test is not gonna be next time we meet because we need to finish this exam. So it will be probably on Monday in 2 weeks. I guess 2 weeks.
Yes. 29.
Assuming we have a class, I'm not sure. We have holidays. I don't think.
Yeah, I think.
No, that
No,
day
I think
we
on
have.
Friday the 20, Wednesday the 24th we have off. So
No, we have classes the 29th. Just the.
So the next class on December 22nd, I'm looking.
December. In October.
I'll put it under announcement. I'll put it under.
that's how we meet on the 29th.
Okay, so I'm gonna begin the fourth row. So we have the fourth row here.
So we're talking.
It's a little bit long, so I'm gonna use multiple lines for the columns. Okay, so this is the fourth row. So we have a label. I'm just gonna put cost with shipping. So it's just a label. And then we have the select. So this is actually a drop-down menu. So we have it may not be obvious. That would be the select. And then we have the option number one. So option is what? Option is overnight $10. So that's the option. Overnight. $10. So it has one single option.
R4.
Yeah, Professor.
Mm-hmm.
I
We
think
have to delete.
what's on line 27 should have gone on DH of line 26, isn't it?
The R4 C1.
Row 4, color number 1. Was that supposed to be replaced with photo shipping?
Oh, you're right. Cost with shipping.
The 26.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, delete this. Thank you. Okay. So let's see. I'm gonna put another one, I guess, next hour. It's gonna be expensive though. So if the user wants, in the next hour, it's gonna be $1,000. Must be it's a rush. Why don't I put 100 actually? Rush. That would be rush. And the subtotal is just a label. So I guess yeah, this one will be +5 for the exam now, extra credit for the extra exam one extra credit. Okay, so that would be 20, I think. Anyway, so this last row now. So we have just actually never mind, just two labels. So we just have total and the price. So actually that's quite short. No, we don't. We are not doing CSS, but so the numbers are gonna appear left-sided. Don't worry about that. If you run it, you'll see that the numbers are left-sided. They should be on the right, but they appear on the left. That's fine. We're not doing CSS. So once again, the numbers are gonna appear left-sided. They're not gonna correspond to these right-sided values. The total is gonna be fine. It should appear on the right and the left as well. This one here should be actually this should be right-sided. But anyway, we're not worried about it. Okay, so let me add this last extra credit for the exam.
Should there be a red border?
Hmm?
Should be a red border?
Color red.
Around the two, there should be a red border.
It's the up.
You're talking about the
No, no.
the select the text area. No, you're not responsible for the CSS. I will be giving you that. Don't worry about the CSS. Don't worry about the CSS. Okay, so let me see what it looks like first.
Number two is in the center or the other side. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so let's see. The only reason why I'm putting them in red here is just so that you notice that it is a graphical. Yeah, I don't put it for you to do it. It's just I want to make sure you know that this is a text box, and I want you to know that this is a button, and this is a select statement. It may not be obvious when you're looking at the handout, but that's the only reason why I put them in colors, and not because you have to do it. Okay, so let me add this last extra credit. I think this extra number 5.
One sample, one.
Okay, so it should be visible now. Okay, so I will see you guys in a week and a half, I guess, on Wednesday next week. Oh no, never mind. Yeah, sorry. We meet on Wednesday. On Wednesday, we're gonna finish the exam, and our test is going to be not the following, but
Yeah, go back to your style. Order. That's the one. You don't have text area. That's what you got. You don't have it. You do have it. Yep.
Actually, so we can have the exam on a week from Wednesday. Isn't it true? We'll finish the exam this Wednesday, and a week from Wednesday we can have the exam.
The next Wednesday?
A week from Wednesday. A week from Wednesday.
So
No, we don't have
we
class.
don't have class on that. So
Next week on Wednesday we don't have class.
we have that's vacation, not vacation, but it's from the 22nd to the 24th.
Oh.
Yeah. So the
So-
only time we the only
So
time
2 weeks. Okay, so
It has to be the 29.
okay, so 29, 29. Okay, Monday 29, Monday 29.
that week on Wednesday we also have off.
Okay. I might as well stay home and go to sleep. Okay. Anyway.
We was trying to run it, but that's all I got.
Okay, so let's see.
Yeah, this is pretty good.
And I was like, there's should be.
You forgot the table element probably.
So,
It's tested now, save it as. Okay, hold on, that's another problem. We have this table.
From 26 and to the bottom.
So, make it smaller.
Go down.
Okay, I see. This one is one column. Then you have another column. And this row ends here. So I think you probably missed all the TRs, but this is another TR. And let's see, one, two, three. One, two, okay, so this is another TR.
I don't know. Or from one.
Okay, and then we have this TR. And that one ends here.
Better just do everything else.
And then the last row is so save it and let's see. So basically we're missing most of the TRs because tier one, that's why it's complaining.
So what's the front stand for?
No, it ends the row begins. This is the opening tag, and then you must close it. So every element, it has an opening tag and a closing tag. So if you cannot have an opening tag without a closing. So notice that all the TRs have to be closed. So you see this TR here?
Yeah.
It has to be closed. Then you have another TR. So these are the rows of the table. So this is row one. You have to open the TR and close it. To be able to go on to the second row, you have to close the first one.
Okay.
And then you can begin the second row. So this slash closes the first row, basically.
So what's the form stand for that? What do we need the
No, yeah, whenever you have graphical elements, so we have the select and we have the text boxes. So this is supposed to be a form that is supposed to be submitted. So that's why we're putting it under. You don't need it for what we're doing now, but it's supposed to be. The context is under a form.
All we did,
Thank you, President.
we just did
For the exam, is the exam gonna be like a exam?
Yes, same logic, same logic. But we have to finish. We'll finish it on Wednesday. We haven't finished it
So you're gonna finish it
on Wednesday.
Wednesday? And also like the exam gonna be in
yeah,
the
that's the thing with summer
like
classes. I
the
went to
whole
classes
entire
too.
time?
Yes, third.
Throughout the whole month. You just cram that shit out.
So I tried to submit the recent one we did. So it seems to open fine
Take care.
when I
Thank
open
you.
it on
Bye-bye. Take care.
when I saved and I opened it here. It seems to be fine, but the submitted portion for some reason isn't taking.
No, no, that's
That's fine.
fine. That's fine. Yeah,
Okay.
because it's under a different interpreter, so don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's still gonna
So,
appear when I have to download. I'll download it.
okay. Because after I downloaded it and opened the file again, it looked like this. That's
No,
why
that
I was-
actually.
Yes, happens to me too. When I download
Yeah.
it from Brightspace, it doesn't enter it as the website.
Let's see. Okay, we know.
Do we have to give that to him?
yeah, I think it was passed.
It's fine. It's fine. I'll be looking at this one. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
I've been at Professor.
Take care. Take care.
I see the final, the web page of the code that was running.
Okay. Yeah, let me run it again. No, actually, it's still running, so it should be. Oh, it's this one.
Okay. So that is page 2, so form 1. Oh, that's not the tab, that's why. Okay. Could you scroll up really quick? Okay. Do we need the CSS part of it?
No. That's what I will be adding it in the test, but only for me to grade, not for you. You don't need to see
Just do the HTML part, right?
Just HTML.
Okay. So in form 2 or form 1, name, Did you do the tab already? The overnight? That's at the bottom?
Yeah. The overnight.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good day.
Take care.
Yeah, no, I know. I just gotta do. Remember the bus I gave you? Yeah. I gotta look into that. I'm still a little out of the council before.
Okay, so I'm gonna close shop. I'm gonna close shop.
Coach shop, why?
There might be another class. There might be another class here.
That's true.
Maybe at
I got another
maybe
class.
seven. Maybe seven. I'm not sure if it's 7:20 or 7:40. Could be 7:40.
Everything, yeah, I turned everything in already. So I'm good to go.
I know it's so quick to kill.
It gets frustrating.
Okay, so see you guys on. This is due by midnight, so I put it by midnight.
All right, Professor.